Today's video is kind of a special one. It's going to be dedicated to my mom. My mom wasn't necessarily a collector, but she always really enjoyed the Precious Moments figurines. Unfortunately, she never got to visit the Precious Moments Chapel before she passed. So this morning, I visited on her behalf. In fact, my wife and I decided to make the quick trip to the chapel and visit it together. I had never been before, and she hadn't been in many years. Now, the Precious Moments Chapel and the Precious Moments artwork in general, it's not really my cup of tea. I'm not dogging it or putting it down, it's just not something I've ever had much interest in. I will say that the messaging and intention behind the artwork created by Sam Butcher is inspiring, and that I was pleasantly surprised after my first visit today. Illustrator Sam Butcher and his partner originally sold greeting cards at Christian book fairs under the company name of Jonathan and David. They would start in 1978 as a licensing company before growing into the brand that has become today in the late 80s and early 90s. Sam Butcher is the artist behind the Precious Moments brand of characters. They are based on American Christian themes, and when creating this artwork, he mainly used oil, watercolor, acrylic, and then mixed media. The Precious Moments Chapel is actually one of many structures within the Precious Moments Park, and it was originally completed in 1989. The chapel features paintings by Mr. Butcher depicting children or childlike figures cast as biblical prophets, angels, or figures from the parables of Jesus. I will say that the chapel was really impressive, and the artwork was very well done. While they do offer guided tours of the chapel, we chose to take a self-guided one. I read that Mr. Butcher created the chapel as a gift of thanks to God to recognize the many blessings given to us. The chapel has been described as America's Sistine Chapel, or as an artful representation of Michelangelo's own Sistine Chapel in Rome. Today, the park operates on a more limited basis from what it once was. Many former attractions within the park have now been closed. However, the chapel, the gift shop, and the visitor center continue to be open to the public. Keep in mind they are a 501c3, so it's free to visit, but they do appreciate donations. When I realized through my research that Sam Butcher tragically lost two of his sons in his life, it put a lot of his artwork into a different perspective for me. Now, I can personally understand how the religious themes are not for everyone. I can also understand how that makes it even more appealing for others. However, there is a kind of calming effect the artwork has when you're viewing it in person. That helped me to better understand why the Precious Moments brand had been so popular. Many of their characters and their figurines are depicted as angels or are more lighthearted in nature. They portray a sense of innocence and childhood. Beyond everything else, they are all extremely positive. While it's not my thing, I can definitely understand that appeal. I can also better understand why a person as kind-hearted, caring, and compassionate as my mom was enjoyed them so much. She always cared about the little things. She loved her kids. She loved her grandkids. She was old-fashioned, but would always be the first person to be there if you ever needed a shoulder. She would have really enjoyed this place. I have a little feeling she might have been walking around there today with Aaron and I anyway. We might not have gotten her out of the gift shop though. I hope you enjoyed today's tour of the Precious Moments Chapel in Carthage, Missouri. If you're ever in the area, check it out. I think it'll be worth your time. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time.